Yvonne, I don't know how you want to do it, but if you want to, if there are any questions, maybe you let me know what time we have and how you'd like us to do this. There's a microphone, yeah. If you just raise your hand if you have a question, something that we said that you think, well, you like some clarification, or you've heard something, or don't, and it doesn't matter what the question is. Don't think that the question has to be some nice little fluffy question that I'm gonna like. Ask whatever, is on your heart or on your mind. Here's our beautiful sister over here. I said beautiful sister just so that you don't rough me up with the question.
What do you think about bullying?
Bullying. Yeah, it's a horrible thing, sister. And I'll say this to you about bullies. Bullies are not the tough guys or tough girls that they like to make out to be. Most bullies are actually very cowardly people. See, when you bully somebody, you're often trying to mask an inferiority complex. So they bully people to try and make themselves look bigger than what they are. It's like when you see people pointing a finger at you, calling you a name. Look at my hand. There's 3 fingers pointing back. That's the nature of the bully. Bullies are like this. If you challenge them, most of the time you find them, they'll run away. When you stand up to a bully, they will back down. And so, bullies are people that you don't make the mistake of thinking that they're giants or they're big or whatever. They're actually very small people. It takes a very small mind to want to bully and cow down somebody. And so that's how you should really approach that. But if, for instance, you are experiencing any bullying in school or on the streets or anything, always make sure that you let your mum, your dad, and your family know. Don't keep this to yourself. Yesterday, one of the things that came out at the funeral of my nephew was that the preacher, after I spoke, the preacher got very inspired after he heard what I had to say, and he was telling the crowd that silence is sin. Silence is sin. Don't keep silent. Anything happens of a negative, horrible nature, anybody do anything to you, always report it in. Always tell your mum. Always tell your dad. Don't fall for this nonsense about, I don't want to be a snitch. Snitch away. Protect yourself by telling those who love you, okay? Thank you for your question, sister. Next one.
How are you today?
I'm good, brother.
Good.
Good, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Hello? Yeah, I've got a question. When do you think Elijah Muhammad will come to England?
When do I think who will
Elijah Muhammad will ever come to England?
Coming to England? Well, that's a good question in truth, because I don't know what you all know about the history of the Nation of Islam, but it was reported in 1975 that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did in fact die. In the Nation of Islam, we don't believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is dead. We believe that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is that man who fulfills scripture, in that he is the one that the whole world has been talking about and expecting to come. We believe that he is that Christ, that one that humanity talks about but doesn't know his identity. And we believe that right now, Elijah Muhammad sits at the right hand of God, not in some spookified heaven, but without going too deep into it, on a vehicle. And if you understand your Bible, where the Bible says that when Christ comes, humanity will see him coming in the clouds, displaying power. But of course, the way we've been taught religion, we're kind of expecting a man to be flying with some wings on his back. No, beloved family. America has been sending space shuttles into space, right? China recently sent a satellite up, and India sent something, I think, to the moon, and Russia. Everybody's in space. Do you think that the creator of the heavens and the earth would be fascinated by these people's ability to go in and out of space? You think if God is a living God, he can't go in and out of space? I just want you to think about this. See, because he has a vehicle that makes all vehicles that we know look like child's play. Child's play. When you watch these, read the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel talks about a wheel within a wheel. And the Son of Man is in the wheel. Understand that this is talking about how God travels. Talking about the man God. See, because understand, I'm a being, you're a being, we're human beings. But there is a supreme being. Not a supreme thing. A supreme human among the humans. A man who has so much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that you and I couldn't even begin to fathom his wisdom. Everything that I've said to you tonight, it's like I'm like a little baby trying to learn to talk compared to the wisdom of this man I'm talking about. And we believe that Elijah Muhammad right now is with that man. And humanity, the world, will see him again. And this is the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through Minister Farrakhan. So that's how I would answer that, brother. You not only will he come to England, he's about to wake up planet Earth. And Trump, I don't even know if they've told Trump. I don't even think them tell him. But the secret agencies of this world, they know all about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and where he currently resides. Next question, please.
What type of diet would you recommend for us as melanated people?
Very, very beautiful question, brother. We are primarily, bring it, brother. And if you can, beloved brothers and sisters, do go afterwards and see our brother at the back with the books and the tapes and the CD. I mean, the man's got some serious spiritual food over there that you should try and take away at least something that you can begin to feed on. See this book? This book says, From God in Person, Master Farad Muhammad by Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. The word Allah is just the Arabic word for God in English. And God is a very brand new, early thing. It's not like an ancient tongue. When you understand what Allah means, it means the all in all of the names of God in one. But anyway, it says how to eat to live. This is what, in the Nation of Islam, this is what we live by. This is what keeps us looking young and fresh. When they murdered Malcolm X and they performed the autopsy on his body, the doctor said this is the cleanest inside of a human being that he has ever seen of a man of Malcolm's age, based on the dietary law that we employ in the Nation of Islam. Primarily the diet is of a vegetable base. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat no meat. Every now and then I'll have a little snippet of fish if I trust the source from where it's come. Because now they're dumping plutonium and all kinds of madness in the ocean. The fishes are growing two heads. Some of them are glowing green. I mean, it's very dangerous to eat dead flesh. And I don't recommend it if you can become vegetarian. And those of you who think you're going to wilt and die because you're a vegetarian, next time you get a chance, have a look at an elephant. All you need is leaf. It's a myth. It's a myth that you need all this dead flesh. You don't need it. And so I would recommend that you do eat vegetables. I know some people are vegan, and some people, black people, lots of black people will tell you that they're lactose intolerant, so they can't drink cow's milk and they wouldn't touch that kind of thing. But in the Holy Quran, which is the book of scripture of the Muslims, Allah declares that He has produced a drink from between the blood and the feces of the cow. Yet it is a pure drink, agreeable to the drinker. So he says that we can drink cow's milk because it's actually good for us. So we do drink cow's milk because it's actually Very, very beneficial, and it's a pure drink. But I'm not talking about that stuff that you get in Sainsbury's or Tesco's or in Asda. That stuff has been homogenated and or pasteurized, in other words, heat treated, and all of the good bacteria and pathogens have been killed. And it's literally like drinking pus. I don't recommend you put that into your body. If you leave it in your outside of your fridge in the kitchen for a little while, after a few days, the smell is atrocious. However, if you can get raw milk, which is milk that comes directly from the cow, but it has to be cows who have been grass-fed, not cows who have been fed other cows, which is the mad, crazy stuff that some of these farming practices do now. But if you can get milk from grass-fed cows, raw milk directly from the cow, ooh, it's powerful. And it helps to make your bones strong, your teeth, and all of these kind of things. And it has contained within it. And if you, for instance, if you was to leave that on your kitchen counter for 4 days, 5 days, it just turns to what's called sour milk. It's like yogurt. Yeah, and it doesn't go off. It won't kill you. It's wonderful. We drink it every day. And I go directly to a farm to get it, because shops are not allowed to sell it. Because the people are so wicked. Anything that's good for you, you can't get it in the regular places. You've got to go to a farmer's market. In fact, there is a place in Birmingham, because I did get some raw milk from up here one time. I know that there's definitely an outlet up here. You just need to Google, check it out, find out where the farmer's market is, find out if they do the raw milk. It's very, very good. If you want to attack things like cancer, things like that in your body, leave the milk out on your counter in the room. Cover it with a tissue or something, because, you know, dust and whatever. But other than that, just leave it for about 4 days, drink it. Go on YouTube, type in Dr. Aleem Muhammad, A-L-I-M. Dr. Aleem Muhammad is the doctor in the Nation of Islam, okay? And type in raw milk, Dr. Aleem, and listen to what Dr. Aleem will tell you about the curative qualities of raw milk and how it can attack AIDS, all of this. By the way, none of you have to die from cancer. Cancer is not a killer when you know how to eat to live. Diabetes is not something you have to fret about no more when you know how to eat to live. High blood pressure. All of these ailments that black people have always been labeled with, learn how to eat to live. Pork, you got to eliminate that nasty bad boy from your diet big time. And remember, the enemy is so tricky that he calls it ham, spam, bacon, Danish, corned beef. You see that? You see that sticky stuff that keeps the corned beef together? Pure pork. Pure pork. Pure pork. These people are wicked. Pure pork. Pepperoni, pork. When it's hot and you run out, you hear the ice cream, pork. That slimy aspect of the ice cream that is pork. If you want ice cream, make it yourself, or go to a good ice cream store where they got clean stuff. They put pork in everything. They put pork in the toothpaste. They put pork in your soap. They put pork in your shampoo. When you feel that slimy, pork. Pig is, in the Bible and the Quran, it is condemned. It says don't eat it. But in this culture, they make it a staple diet. That's what people wake up to. Streaky. Bacon. Have you ever noticed when you put the bacon in the frying pan, the bacon start dance? And start making noise? That's because it's alive. It's saturated with a worm called strychnine. The worm is microscopic. You cannot see it, because you know black people don't believe nothing unless they can see it. Yeah, where the worm there? Where the worm there? They want to say a big worm, you know? A big worm. No. This is microscopic. It's similar to sperm. You see sperm? Sperm is the consistency of spit. Just looks like a cloudy drop of water. You can't see nothing. But if you look under the microscope, you see like little tadpoles. Billions of them swimming. That's the size of this worm. And the worm is indestructible. When you fry it, the worm, they go into a cyst and they stay there. And then when you eat it and the pork goes down into your stomach, the acids wake the worm up. Wake them up. The worms then make their way into the base of your spine. They work their way up, completely up the spine until they occupy a space in your brain. Lots of people die every year of trichinosis. And they call it all different, and they say it's arthritis, we have arthritis, it's worms, all in the joints and everything. Or you see people's eyes turn brown, they're not white, the whites are not trichinosis. Saturated with the worm. People can't remember them. I look for them glasses. Where are my glasses? Can't remember people's names. Man, just tell you me in 2 seconds, I go, wait him again. Because trichinosis is eating away the brain, destroying the substance of the human being. And God says it is an abomination. He said, don't even smell its carcass when it's burning. Don't touch it. Those of you who walked in the morning, when you're going to work in the morning, you walk past what they call the greasy jaw, where the workers are, the building site workers, and they might get their beer and breakfast, and you smell it stink. That stink, that's bacon, that's pork, it's nasty. If there's one thing, I beg you, eliminate from your diet, dash that pork out. Now be warned, you young ones, don't be go back, you're going into your mother's fridge. Take out our pork and dash it because she will kill you. Yeah, leave your mother's things alone. But I'm saying those of you who control your own stuff, deal with it. And then gently try and wean your mum off of it. Tell her, Mum, it's not good. But don't just go back, you're going to go and take up her things because Mummy will kill you. Leave me things alone. May I eat that since we was 2. Me know 95. But what Mummy doesn't know is that if she wasn't eating it, she could get to 305. That's right. Okay? So, how to eat to live. And see my brother when you finish. Go and check him out and see what he's got over there. Another question? Yeah? Thank you, brother.
Greetings.
Yes. Greetings, sister.
I'd just like to know some more about the youth leadership program or academy that you run in London, and also in relation to that, are there any northern regional divisions of the Nation of Islam where youth from the north can also access that? And then thirdly, is it open exclusively to Muslim youth or to all black youth?
Yes, ma'am. Beautiful question, sister. First of all, the WYLA, there's also an EYLA, which is in East London. There's one in Luton, and I think there's one in South London now as well. EYLA was the first one, and it was started by a brother by the name of Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis used to be one of the deputy mayors on the, who was he? Was he with? No, Boris Johnson. It was Boris Johnson. He was one of the deputy mayors, and he's a brother who's quite well known in the black community in London. He started the EYLA, and then we copied his model, and then we started WYLA about 5 years ago now. And then, like I said, there is SYLA, which is in South London, and there's also Luton. And I know there's a sister who's a barrister. She's trying to do a counterpart now for girls. Yeah, so the leadership academies, they are building, they are expanding. If you go online and type in WYLA, you can see some of the work that we do. Check that out. There is nothing here at the present time. It is open to all black boys. We've even had a couple of Asian boys come to us as well. And we welcome all boys. And we really try to bring out of them. You know, the word education comes from the Latin to educe, which means to draw out. Education is not necessarily what you put into somebody, but it's you pulling out what's already in them. And so we draw out from them their innate leadership qualities and personality. You don't have to force nothing into the children. They already have it within them. You just have to allow them to shine. So that's the answer in relation to WYLA. There was another part to your question, sister.
It was just about asking if there are any northern, I think I was just asking if there are any northern divisions of the nation.
In the nation, you know, sister, we had a beautiful community in Birmingham before. We had a beautiful community in Huddersfield. To be completely honest with you, the Nation of Islam has been under relentless attack from the government. Relentless attack. We had our own school in London and they absolutely attacked because they don't want us to have our own. They don't want us to educate our own. And most of those communities are now a little bit diminished, but we intend to rebuild them. We intend to come back, and this is why, sisters like Yvonne, that's why she is really so valuable for inviting us to come up, because we want to come up, inspire some of you to start building again, because this is the community that we want to see flourishing in all parts of the country. And so right now, I can't recommend to you anybody here. There are a couple of brothers and sisters. Maybe before we leave, we'll make sure you've got a contact for us, and we will try to locate at least a couple of people that you can speak to, possibly go and study with them, because they may have a study circle that they still operate here. But see us afterwards about that. But for now, I can tell you that our intention is to come and build here again, communities of the nation. You don't have to be, you're righteous by nature. You may call yourself by different names and different labels, but in truth, we know that you're Muslim. What is a Muslim? What is a Muslim? A Muslim is simply one who submits his or her will entirely to do the will of God. What did Jesus say? Not my will, but thy will. It's a Muslim. It's not about being Arab or Pakistani, it's just somebody who, see, a Rastaman said, Jah, Rastafari. Man is God and God is man. That's it. But so we're not really interested in people in labels. We just want to know, do you really believe in God and do you want to do right? And that's it. That's the only qualification. And then let's move together. Let's build together. Let's be a family again. Okay, my sister? Thank you very much for your question. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You mentioned white supremacy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, my question is white supremacy against white? What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's a good question, brother. And in truth, similar to the answer that I gave the sister about the bully, see, ultimately the bully hurts him or herself. See, when you put somebody down, when you try to force somebody down into some ghettoized existence, you hurt yourself. You suffer when you dehumanize or belittle or devalue another human being. I wouldn't want to be responsible for killing another human being. I wouldn't want that on my conscience. I don't think I'll be able to sleep very well. I wouldn't want to be a person who is labeled as a rapist, or I'm getting to the point, or a killer or some evil, horrible person, because I know that if that's the reality that I'm doing, what goes out comes back. What goes up comes down. What goes around comes around. As you have sown, so shall you also reap. So in that sense, brother, white supremacy is detrimental not only to black people, but also to white people. Because it's put white people on a false pedestal. So one of the missions that we have in the Nation of Islam is that our job, listen to our job, brother. Our job is fantastic. Our job is to bring down white people from a false pedestal of superiority, and at the same time raise black people up from an equally false place of black inferiority. So you got one coming up, one coming down. Now we meet in the middle as men. Not one superior to the other, but now deal with me as a man. When I shake a white man's hand, I don't scratch at the same time. I shake him up. When I look at him in the eye. But they taught us, brother, to move off the pavement when they were coming. Even when I first came to this country, brother, we had to fight to establish territory in this country. A lot of these young boys now, they don't know why they can walk with their chest big up and their trousers down. Because a man like me, we had to fight real skinheads, not some false skinheads, real We had to beat them in order to establish territory for black people in this country. We fought them, brother. And we couldn't walk the pavement without them walking, and then they would expect us to leave the pavement, and then we'd bounce. And then they'd, what, you want some? You want some? White boys. I said, yeah, give me some, give me some. And we would fight. And that's eventually they had to have respect for us because we weren't running from them. And so, white supremacy, brothers, it's very real. You won't find black supremacy written in no dictionary. You'll find white supremacy there because it's a reality all around our planet. And it has to be brought down. The Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in 1995 at the Million Man March, white supremacy has to die in order for humanity to live. Yeah? Yes, ma'am.
Just on that note, there was a point that you made about how when you was having your car fixed,
yes,
and somebody did it wrong,
yes,
and you went to another brother. I think sometimes that we as black people, we seem to give our hard-earned money to a white person,
yes,
and we refuse to somehow give it to our own.
yes.
And at the same time, we are wondering why our black boys aren't getting jobs.
Yes. Yes.
But we ourselves aren't giving our own
the opportunity.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So I just say that in my home, where we have, I only employ black people.
Praise be to Allah. Yes,
Do you know what I mean? Because I refuse, because I have 2 black boys.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, and I think the starting point is that we have to recognize that we have to employ our own.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
You know, we have a load of self-employed black men who are saying they're not getting work, but we won't employ them ourselves. And that's what I'm finding. And I think we need to start ourselves to say, listen, I will start to employ black people. That's what I'm going to do, because I want my children to be employed.
Fantastic.
You know, and I think we need to start from that.
So, what Sister is saying, she's saying, be the change you want to see. She's leading by example, not just talk. See, because it's easy to talk, but we must patronize our own, take care of our own. See, because in the absence of that type of mentality, this is why we continue to suffer as a people. We don't have anything, because we trust everybody else. But as soon as it comes to putting some money in the hand of a black person, we want to know, what are going to do with the money? What are going to do with the money? It's not your money. You're paying it over to this person. Just give the money to the person, let them go and do what they want to do with it. When we're giving hundreds of pounds to Nike, or Louis Vuitton, or the TV company to get a good program on the TV that reflects us, when we're spending all this money on pure foolishness, we never question what those people are going to do with the money. But as soon as we're going to give it to a black person, I make no black man rich enough. It's a terrible, terrible mentality. You know how I feel when I see rich black people? Make get happy. You see, because I see a lot of black people don't like Floyd Mayweather. You see Floyd? I love it. You see when Floyd come up with all the money and the Bugatti, I love Floyd. I said, go on Floyd. I want to see 10,000 Floyds. I want to see billionaire black people. Floyd don't have 1 jet, he have 3. I said, go on Floyd. Yeah, but you don't support black people. How do you know? What do you know? Because we're quick to criticize our own. But we don't mind white people having, look, you realize the Queen owns Australia?
Come on.
The Queen, New Zealand. She's the largest landowner on planet Earth. You realize that these people had the audacity to go into Iraq, and then you got the soldiers in Saddam's palace saying, look at the way he was living. Look at the way he was exploiting. He's got palace. What about the Queen? How much palace she have?
That's right. Come on.
And who pays for it?
That's right.
Come on, man. It's pure hypocrisy. You realize how these people live large? I I've worked, my mother used to run a wine bar in the West End of London. And I would watch Caucasian people coming for lunch. Tree, 400, that was in the early 80s. 400 pounds, 500 pounds for lunch. Black people, that's 2 weeks' wages in those days. Lunch. My mum used to have a restaurant in Newmarket where the racing goes on. All the rich Caucasian people used to come there, and in those days they used to sell champagne called Bollinger. And in those days, this was in the 70s, 1975, we was there, and the white man used to come and used to buy a Bollinger, 17 pounds a bottle, and he used to buy 10, 15 bottles a night, just no problem, and most of it he would give away. This white man called Ivan. You know, nobody was looking at Ivan sideways. Well, where am I going with money, all this money? No, it's all right for them to have everything. It's all right for them to live large and have buy island. What's his name? Branson. Doesn't he own an island? I'm not seeing nobody else skin up them face. Black people things, and all the workers on the island are black, like slaves, working for pittance. Nobody ain't saying nothing, but as soon as a black man now start moving and shaking on that kind of level, we have a problem with it. No, stop it, beloved. The richest man recorded in history was a black man called Mansa Musa. When he moves, it's just pure gold him move with. That's us. The diamonds belong to us, the gold belongs to us, the riches belong to us, the manganese belongs to us. It's all ours. And guess what? We'll take it back.
That's right. Yes,
we ain't going to be no poor vagabonds on the planet. That's not who we are.
Yeah, greetings.
Greetings, brother.
Yeah, man. From your point of view still, what do you think can be done to take down the division between black people, we say Christian black people we say Muslim, black people we say Rasta? Because, you know what I mean, that division that kind of create a big confusion. So we need to find a way where we can take down that. So what do you think can be done about that?
Yeah.
Secondly, after that, what do you think about the repatriation black to Africa as black people?
Yes, sir. That's a beautiful question, brother. Well, first of all, the Honourable Minister Louis Farrakhan says it like this, brother. He says we have to become as wise as the drunk man. See, the drunk man, brother, he's not interested in the label on the bottle. Whether it's rum, wine, whiskey, some of them even will go for some methylated spirits. Him no business. He's interested in the content in the bottle. Him just want to get drunk. And we have to stop looking at labels. Because Christianity, Islam, Rasta, these are labels that prevent me and you from recognizing we are brother. See, your biological brother or biological sister, when they left home, brother, you went down that way, they went down that way. When you visit your biological brother's home tomorrow or your biological sister's home tomorrow, they're not the same carpet as you. You got tiles in your bathroom, they got lines in theirs, but you're still family. We don't throw away our family because they choose to move in a slightly different way. Your mother taught you that 5 and 2 is 7. My mother taught me, brother, that 6 and 1 is 7. His mother taught him that 4 and 3 is 7. But in our ignorance, we start fighting each other over who mother right. All of our mothers were just teaching us a different route to get to the same destination. That's what all the prophets did, brother. All the prophets taught the same thing. Obey God. But in our ignorance, we think, say, yeah, boy, my prophet is Muhammad, you know. But that's the better one. The Rasta man, well, why is just Selassie I not deal with them? I don't know, Muslim business. Ballad business. Ballad. And by the way, the ballad ain't talking about this. It's talking about people who are not rooted. That's what Barley means. Not rooted in culture, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And so that's how we deal with that, brother. We deal with that by recognizing that all the prophets taught the same thing, but they just came by a different route to bring all the people by a different route to the same destination. And we have to be intelligent enough to recognize that and don't fall out with one another over labels. There was a final part to your question, which was repatriation. You know, we believe in reparations, brother. But to be completely honest with you, a lot of our people, when they think about reparations, they're thinking about a check. But the way black people are today, if they was to give us a check for 50,000 tomorrow, by next week it's back in the white man's bank. Because we don't know how to handle money. Because, you know, brother, in the Jewish community in America, I think they say the dollar goes around something like 28 days. In other communities, they go around 10 days, go around 12 days. In the black community, listen to this, the dollar goes around 6 hours. Not even a day before we put it in somebody else's hand. And so, it's not about money, but the damage must be repaired. But where the damage begins, it begins with, the repairs begin internally with us. We've got to repair ourselves. It's not about somebody giving us money. And then we do demand from the white people that they've got to return land. Land we want, brother. Land. We don't want no paper money. The land is where the wealth is, brother. We want the land.
That's right.
As black people, those of you who got a little bit of money, go buy some land. Invest in some land. Get land. Not even so much real estate in terms of houses. Land. Get the land. That's what we want. We want our land back. The Caribbean belongs to us because we fought, bled and died for it. Our blood soaks every island in the Caribbean. Our food one. America belongs to us. Believe me, black people blood soaked. And if you understand the 24,896 miles of the circumference of the whole planet and the 196,940,000 square miles of land and water of the entire earth, all of it, brother, belongs to us. And they're going to give it all back. They're going to give it up. So that's what we mean when we say reparations. In terms of going back to Africa, we just have to be careful. Because some of us, brother, we got the wrong mentality even to go back to Africa. Some of us go back to Africa, brother, and we go back with a white man's mentality. And we look down on our African brothers and sisters like we're superior because we come from Europe. And we're braggadocio in front of them, you know. And I tell them lie, but we're there, England, or we live large. Pure lie. They don't tell you that the largeness was a big prison or a big mental institution. But we go back and we boast on the African brothers and sisters. What we do in the Caribbean as well. But we can't go back with that mentality. We've got to go back humble. We've got to go back and recognize that these are our brothers and sisters, and we've got to go back with something to bring there. Not go in there looking to become thief and robber and then bringing all the mad crazy stuff that we learned here back into Africa. Because the Ethiopian government gave some land, as you know, to some Rastafari, Shashamani. And brother, there's a whole heap of division down there right now. Rasta fight against Rasta. We're taking pure division of madness down there. 12 tribe versus this group, and we've got to stop this. So we don't necessarily believe that it's about everybody going back to Africa. Because believe me, Africa couldn't take it. The planet belongs to us. And wherever we are is our home. And so we've got to take charge of the planet again. It's not about everybody. Whoever wants to go to Africa, go. I may very well end up there myself. I've been to the Gambia. I fell in love with the Gambia. Then I went to Zimbabwe. Oh my God, we start have a fear with Zimbabwe. With Zimbabwe. Because Zimbabwe is beautiful. And when I went to Africa, I'm a Jamaican. When I went to Africa, and my foot touched, believe me, I started to cry. It's the first time I felt I'm home. It really felt like home among my African brothers and sisters. And they tried to, the man come up to me on the beach, I talk about, yo, yeah, what's up, soul brother? African man, yeah, soul brother. You come from America, you come from England. I said, brother, don't talk to me like that. I said, listen, I left here 500 years ago with a chain around my neck. I'm home now. See, as we drop upon him like that, everything changed. Now we'll start talking as brother. You understand? We don't go out there with no foolishness and act like tourists and foolish people. We go out there to be family.
Yes, sir.
And so, beloved family, thank you so much for your questions. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to stand before you. I pray that you won't walk out of here tonight without getting to know another black person that you never met before. I pray that you will listen out for the things that sister is doing, that you will support her, that others of you will come together with her, pool your resources, put a little money together, put stuff together, man, so we can come down. We bring down whatever the subject you want us to come and deal with, we'll come and deal with it. Put it together, we'll come down. Those of you who are serious and you want to start a group, let's talk about it. Let's give you the material, the reading material, the study material, because we study. We sit together and we study together and we learn about our true black history. We learn about our true nature, who we are. We've got programs that help us how to change up our reality, change our thinking. We got even therapy. You know, like rich people, when they get into trouble, they go sit down with them therapists and they talk and they come out and feel better. Where's our therapy for 400 years of slavery? Where's our therapy for all the racism and madness we've been through? There's none. But by the grace of God, we now have therapy that we can offer to black people, where stuff that you've been through, which has injured you, but whether physically or emotionally, you can get rid of those impediments in your mind that hold you back, that make you feel somehow inferior. Some of you, if you get invited to go to a big hotel or something, you're looking for a side door or a back door because you don't want to go in the front because you feel like you're not worthy or people are going to look at you. We can repair all of that. Give you back your self-confidence, give you back your self-esteem, and make you the proud black man and black woman that you are. Thank you. May Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.